Welcome back to the Student of the Game podcast. I'm your host, Tavares. Once again, thank you all for tuning in. I greatly appreciate you taking the time out of your busy day by giving my podcast a listen. All right, so let's talk about Falcon and the Winter Soldier. How about that finale, people? I thought it was good. I thought it was real good. Real good. Now, when I say real good, of course, I'm not saying it's epic like Avengers Endgame and stuff. And here's the thing. A lot of people, it's one thing to not like a show. That's fine. It's a lot of shows that I don't like where I come into it with reasonable expectations, and then guess what? They just don't, how the saying goes that what people are saying lately on Twitter, on social media, this person really got the assignment. Or if you did a bad job, they'll say this director did not get the assignment. Okay, well, the creators of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, all 6 episodes for this whole season, I feel like overall, they got the assignment. They understood the assignment completely, okay? A lot of people are comparing, WandaVision and The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. They want to compare them to, the Marvel movies. Well, here's the thing about that. You can't compare it to it. You can't. You know why? Because Kevin Feige said it himself. He says they are going to save the big impact moments, pretty much, for the films. Okay, so right there, you're handicapping the TV shows to even be close on the level as the films, as the movies. Okay, so that's why I will not compare them to that. I compare it to TV shows. Okay, like I'm a big fan of watching television shows. I love one of my favorite shows, 24. The first 3 seasons of Lost. Okay, The Shield. The first 4 seasons of Power. Okay, you know what I'm saying? So I got a lot of good. The first 4 seasons of The Walking Dead. Okay, but I don't compare any of those shows, as great as they are, to a great movie that I love. That's why I don't see how people are comparing it to Endgame, and they're like, well, the Falcon and Winter Soldier season finale, it wasn't epic. I didn't feel the epics and stuff. Do you know you got people actually they are complaining about, yeah, I wish we would have got a chance to see Falcon when he opened the box and his reaction that he has a new uniform from Wakanda and stuff. I wish we could see that epic feel. Like what? Okay, check this out. Captain America, Winter Soldier. Okay, his uniform from the first Captain America movie was different. Matter of fact, his uniform in the Winter Soldier movie looked a little bit different than his uniform in the first Avengers movie. But guess what? Did they make some kind of grand statement or whatever, or made it just like a big epic scene? Oh, voila! Look at the new uniform. No, they just went straight into action. And if you notice that that the uniform had certain different modifications from the previous iteration, you just noticed that, okay? But I mean, it's a 50-minute long episode, so there are other things that they can talk about in there. Like, use context clues, people. They're just like, okay, I'm not going to even go there with that. But anyways, let's move on. I like the episode. I like it. It had a lot of stuff. It had a lot of good things to it. Were there some bad things? Yeah, of course, there were some imperfections and stuff. But I really liked it. Sam's suit, yes. 2 thumbs up for me. I'm really digging that suit, man. It's nice. Got the vibranium wings. How can you knock a man with vibranium wings, right? Vibranium wings, people. That's what we're talking about. We have a Captain America who now is not a super soldier, but guess what? He can fly. All right. And I'm not just talking about fly like LeBron James or Michael Jordan or anything like that. He can fly. It doesn't matter if it's not about, I believe I can fly. Guess what? There's evidence that this man can fly. All right. And he still has Red Wing. I like Red Wing. Red Wing's pretty dope. Okay. But, yeah, Sam is Captain America, people. I mean, it's one of those things. It's going to take some time to take a little bit to get used to, but not in a bad way. It's just that, hey, we're used to seeing Chris Evans, aka Steve Rogers, aka Captain America. We used to referring to him as Captain America. Now we're referring to Sam as Captain America. Okay, and I think it's awesome. I'm down for it. You down with it? All right, let's roll. Okay, so in this episode here, all right, Sharon Carter, she shows up in the beginning and stuff, and she had like her little disguise where I forgot what you call that, where they can change their faces, that technology that they have. And let's see, her and Bucky, they try to stop some of the members of the Flag Smashers. All right, now in this episode here, let's see what happened. I got my notes right here. Excuse me. Let's see. Okay, Sam gets distracted. Okay, he's fighting. What's the guy named Brockton? Man, that dude there is a thorn in Sam's rear. Like, that's his kryptonite for real. That dude there is like, no matter how much new tech Sam has, this dude still gives Sam problems. And I guess you could say it's like a boxing match. It's like any boxer styles make fights. Everybody has a weakness. Okay, so this dude right here, he always in the way, but guess what? That's okay. Sam finally got the big picture, realized the big picture, and it's like, okay, let me knock this dude down and let me just get up out of here, because I'm not about to beat this dude down into submission, because this dude never quits, and he never does. Okay, let's see. Yeah, Carly is like going full-blown villain mode with this, psycho mode. She had told her other team members of the Flag Smashers, she said, I'm willing to die and to kill people for our message to go on and stuff. And what was crazy, you see her other three teammates looking at her other three Flag Smasher members, they looking at her like, okay, they had that look like, you're far too gone. You're tripping. And here's what really got me. When she said one world, they supposed to say one people. She said one world, crickets. All you heard was crickets. Okay. And they're like, and for a minute, I thought they was about to jump her or something, That's why I'm like, this is how it's about to all go down, right? But she said it one more time. She said one world, and they say one people, so it reminded me of like, you go into church and the preacher is saying, can I get an amen? And everybody's like, all right, can I get an amen? And then people finally say, all right, amen. Because if we don't say that, he or she is not going to go on. All right. But, yeah, so a cool scene right after that part was when, John Walker shows up, and I'm like, we finally going to see what this homemade shield does, his DIY shield. Let's see what it do, baby. He called out Carly and he said, hey, and she said, hey, your friend pretty much meant nothing. Well, nothing to my cause. And I'm like, he really about to lose his what. But guess what? He threw the shield at her. I'm like, okay. And she just roundhoused that shield. Boom. And the look on Walker's face, he like, but he should have known better, man. That's not the vibranium shield, dude. And when she kicked it, she just chuckled and laughed. That's why I'm like, wow, man. But those two, they got into a fight. And at one point, I thought he's gonna end up murdering her. But she ended up breaking free. Like the first few kicks she did to him in the chest, because he's a super soldier now. He took the serum, it didn't faze him. But then it got to the point where she was like, okay, the next kick I do is going to have to be in his face, and I'm going to have to put that extra oomph in it. And she did. When she put that extra oomph in it, he just fell out. I'm like, okay, well, hey, she did her thing with that, man. There was another part on there where Carly, she was on the phone, where she was talking to Bucky. They had a conversation for a minute or two or whatever. And she was like, what if you ever fought for beyond yourself? And I'm like, okay, did you not know that this man right here, okay, was one of the heroes who was fighting against Thanos' army? Are you serious? Like, come on now. Game's supposed to recognize game, and clearly she wasn't trying to recognize Bucky's game, but some people just don't know any better, I guess, right? But Carly, of course, she ends up dying. Sharon ends up killing her and stuff. I got a feeling that Sharon is a Skrull. I'll tell you about that in a later video later on, because I can go all day on that, okay? But one of the big pivotal moments in this show was was when the whole back and forth. I like the chemistry that Sam and Carly had, okay? Where they was fighting. Well, actually Carly was really fighting him. And he was like, "I'm not gonna fight you." And that scene, it reminded me of like a big brother who's trying not to fight his little sister, because it's like, I'm not about to hit a girl, It's like, listen, I understand what you're trying to do, but you're going about it the wrong way. And he refused to fight her, and she kept getting mad, and she was like, fight me. And the thing about it, a lot of people might say, well, Sam knew not to fight her because he knew he could not beat her. No, I don't think that's why he did not fight her. I think what it was is that Sam, when you go back to when we was first introduced to Sam in Captain America Winter Soldier movie, he's a VA counselor, okay? And he's a real good listener. He wants to try to get through to people. He wants to be able to talk them down, almost like a negotiator, but not as shady as a negotiator, because it seems like he's coming genuine from the heart. And that's what I love about Sam, man. The dude is a good dude, great dude, man. But unfortunately, Carly was about to take it to the next level when she pulled out the gun, and I think she was going to shoot him. Her finger was on that trigger, and the fact that she put the gun up, hey, listen, that you taking it to a whole nother level right there. And then Sharon ended up shooting her and killing her. All right. Then after that part, now I'm not gonna lie. First, I'm thinking I didn't think Sharon should have killed her, but here's the thing: Sharon just got shot by her. Okay, and she sees that. Sharon knows that Sam is not a super soldier, and Sharon doesn't know everything that vibranium suit can and cannot do. So if you're Sharon, you're like, you know what, man? If I don't shoot her and make sure that I get her, because also she's a super soldier, so she can probably take some bullets. So she had to unload on her until she fell down. So that way, hopefully, Sam will live, and he did live. And if you notice, Sam, he kind of looks at Sharon with the little facial expression. I don't know if he was disappointed or upset, but you could tell that Sam cared about Carly. He didn't want her to die. And I didn't want her to die either. I'm a fan of the character. I understand their purpose. I understand their cause, to think about it. All of a sudden, even though you're happy that all the people from the blip came back, but guess what? Now, because they came back, now you got to move. You know what I'm saying? So that sucks. That sucks, man. I can only imagine the feeling of having that feeling, okay? But anyways, the speech that Sam gave, I love the speech that he gave to the senators, because listen, we're your constituents. You're supposed to listen to us. Now, listening to us does not mean that you must follow our every command, our every wish or request. No, but you need to hear us out. You need to consider it. What I mean by consider it, okay, you need to thoroughly weigh the pros and cons. And one of the most important things he said, hey, the people that your policies affect, they're not even in the room. They should at least be in the room. So that way, you know what? You can hear both sides perspective, or multiple sides perspective on whatever it is, but the fact that they was just trying to dismiss this and label them as terrorists, yeah, I understood Sam on that, because check this out. Most of the time, especially in the media, man, that people who they label as terrorists, or people who they label as thugs, or people who they label as whatever, a lot of times they're not that. Okay, you got to dig in deeper, do the research. You don't just offer one sentence or one statement or one photo or one snippet of a clip or whatever, you label somebody. That's not right. That's not right. That's not right, labeling somebody quickly in a good way or even in a bad way. It's not cool. Think about that in your life, okay? What if somebody judged you based off one photo or 10 seconds of a clip or something, right? You know what I'm saying? That's one of those things. That's like, how can you judge a movie off a 10-second clip? You might see a scene wait, let's say it's a horror movie, but they show the 5 to 10 seconds where there's actually a comedic relief. And are you going to say, oh, well, that's really a comedy? No, that's just because it's 5 to 10 seconds of humor doesn't make that movie a comedy, even though majority of it is a horror movie or vice versa. Okay. So that right there, I mean, they had a legit reason, like Sam said, to be ticked off and to want to go against the government. But yeah, they probably went about it the wrong way. But the thing about it is this. You need to be asking the question of why are they doing this? Why are they overthrowing so many powerful governments for this? Okay? Why are they risking their lives for this? And there's a reason behind that. I'm not saying there's no such thing as terrorists. I'm not saying there's no such thing as thugs or thieves or whatever. Of course there are. But the thing about it is you can't be so quick to throw that out put that tag on people. Okay? Don't do that. Don't do that, all right? I'm not a big fan of putting tags on anything quickly. So check this out. Like, it's just like when I'm at the grocery store. I know a lot of the fruit that they say is organic is not organic. They just threw a quick tag on it. No, you got to check that stuff, man. A lot of that stuff is just regular. It's not organic. But anyways, that's a whole nother story. I digress. But I like it how Sam told him. He said, hey, because if you don't change your ways, you're going to find out you're going to end up dealing with a Carly 2.0. And you don't want to see that. And I think that right there is really what got to them. Because think about it. She was a super soldier. But guess what? A lot of times in those situations, in those causes, and you could tell, they got a lot of people. Well, it's not like they're not Hydra, but it's just like how Hydra had a lot of people in a lot of powerful places and stuff. Hell, Hydra and stuff, right? The one world, one people. They got a lot of them all over the place. So you never know who is next in line. You never know. It's just like cutting off the tail on a lizard. Guess what? They're going to grow another one. They'll grow another one. So they better watch out because you don't want to deal with a 2.0 coming from a super soldier. Ain't no telling who that's going to be. All right. But I understand, Sam's speech. He also talked about, hey, man, I know a lot of people don't want to see me be Captain America, and that's the truth. But what I love about what Sam is doing as Captain America, he understands that everybody's not gonna like him. Everybody's not gonna like him. You're gonna have people that's not gonna like him because he's a black man being Captain America. You're gonna have a lot of people that's not liking him because the fact that they don't want anybody else to be Captain America. All right. You got a lot of people that's not going to like them because guess what? You got some people who did not like Captain America. Trust me, people, everybody did not like Captain America. Okay. They did not. Okay. They did not. It's not Captain America's fault, but guess what? You got a lot of people who don't like God or who think LeBron James is not a great player or Michael Jordan is not a great player. Okay. But guess what? You try your best to continue to be great no matter who dislikes you or no matter who's hating on you. And I'm proud of Sam on that, so I got no problem with that. All right. Also in this episode, I wasn't expecting to get a Zemo sighting, but we did, the last remaining Flag Smasher super soldiers. We found out that his butler reached out and touched him and blew him up. Because at first I'm like, who is that? And then it wasn't until I watched it a second time I'm like, aha, that's the butler. That's where I know that dude from. Okay, got you. Bucky, man, Bucky. Sometimes I'm like, man, throughout this episode, throughout the season, I kept thinking, man, I wish Bucky could find a way to channel his inner killer, not literally killing people, but like being his inner badassery, if you might say. Because in Winter Soldier, when he was fighting against Cap and the other Avengers, he was going hard, all right? But in this show here, it's like he's holding back. But I understand it. He doesn't trust himself, and he doesn't want to kill people if he doesn't have to, because he's killed so many, and as he said, he never forgets them. So I can't knock that. So that's a man right there. He's in the mid phase of his evolution of developing and becoming a better Sergeant Barnes. Okay, just like we all are. We're every day, every night, all the time. We're grinding. We're trying to be a better version of ourselves. And in the middle of that journey, hey, if somebody come and say, man, why you doing this like that, T? It's like, hey, man, I'm still in the middle of my journey. I'm still trying to figure it out. So please be patient with me and bear with me. And we're going to be patient with Bucky because I like his character. I can dig him. Sebastian Stan is a wonderful actor. Man, what was the first thing I saw him in? He was in the show called Once Upon a Time. It's a real good show. You should check it out. All right, a nice spin on the fairy tales fairy tales, urban legends, and folklore we grew up watching and listening to and reading about as kids. Okay, but let's see. In this episode here, we got a chance to see Bucky. He was able to cross off everyone on his list because he went and apologized to Yuri. And man, that moment, a lot of people were saying, they wish they would have stayed. They felt that moment was so rushed. Well, what did you expect? Did you expect Bucky and Yuri to, after he revealed to Yuri, hey man, the Winter Soldier killed your son. I am the Winter Soldier. I had no control over what I was doing, and hey, I am sorry. So what were you expecting after that? For them to hug, make up? I mean, what do you expect? You expect Yuri to all of a sudden go into rage and fight the Winter Soldier? Is that what you wanted? Like, how you see, the thing about it with a lot of people, it's one thing to say you want more. Okay, so what exactly did you want? Because just wanting more, that's very vague. It's very vague. Okay, I am not a big fan of that. You need to be precise. Tell me what you want. Okay, can't read minds. I'm not Professor Xavier. Okay, so I had no problem with that scene. And then he apologized. So what else supposed to happen? Okay, like that stuff takes time. Like Sam told him, you got to take that step. You're taking steps, man. And you got to learn that in life, man. Like, if you did somebody wrong and you apologize, guess what? They can forgive you. You got a lot of people, like, I consider myself as a person, I forgive people even before they apologize. You know why? Because the forgiveness is for me to be able to move forward. Now, that does not mean I forgot. Like, I don't believe in forgive and forget. I believe in forgiving, because if you forget, guess what, man? You're going to make the same mistake again. You're going to fall for the banana in the tailpipe again. And let's not fall for that again, right, people? You seen Beverly Hills Cop? Yeah, exactly. But then they showed the whole scene where he walked past the restaurant or the bar where he normally meets with Yuri, and they have a drink and stuff, and he's looking in the mirror, and the young lady who Bucky went out on a little half date with and stuff, she saw him in the window, and she kind of looked at him and then did a little small smile, then looked, and I'm glad Yuri didn't see him and stuff. And the thing about it is, hey, he was able to provide him with closure. But, who knows? He probably won't see Yuri ever again, and there's no reason for him to see him, because his reason for going to see him was to eventually tell him that mission complete, and he was able to cross him off his list. And I was happy for Bucky on that. Now the healing side is already begun, but now the more in-depth healing is going to start to come to fruition now, hopefully for him. Okay, but man, let's see. But that was a very touching moment, because no parent wants to lose their child. You want your kids to bury you. You don't want to have to bury your children, and that has to have been a tough situation for Yuri. They never mentioned whether or not if his wife was still living or if his son's mother was still living. So, but if she, it's one of those things. Let's say if she's still living and her and Yuri are not together, well, at least he can go to her and tell her, here's what happened, and tell that to other family members, because no one knew. Think about that. No one knew. So, I'm glad Bucky was able to do that, but he still has a lot of growth to do, just like we all do. All right. Man, the whole part where Sam went back and talked to Isaiah. Well, when Sam was doing the speech, now, hold up, let's break right quick. Hit that button. All right, we're back on. Okay, so when Sam was doing the speech, they showed a clip of they took because everyone in the world was able to see because it was broadcast, and we saw Isaiah Bradley. Because we saw in the previous episode, Isaiah Bradley says they're never gonna let a black man be Captain America, and also no self-respecting black man would ever want to be Captain America. And the thing about it is this. Sam understood Isaiah's reasoning behind he was thinking. And he has every right to, because what was done to him. But what was done to Isaiah was not done to Sam. And Sam, hey, in his speech, he said, hey, I believe that we all can change. I believe that we all can do better. And that's the most important thing, because the moment in a society or in a world, or whether if you're just in a relationship, whether if it's a spouse or whatever with siblings, the moment you believe that the situation cannot get better, well then guess what? It's pretty much over. It's not looking good. All right. It's gonna be hard to even stay there. It's gonna be hard to be able to move forward and grow. So, but Isaiah and his grandson, they was watching it on television, and Isaiah, he was sitting up, and you could tell he had like a proud look on his face. That's why I'm like, wow, that's like, how they say a picture tells 1,000 words? Well, that picture right there told like 1,000,000,000 worth of good positive emotions right there. So I was glad that happened. And Sam went to go visit him, and I like it when Isaiah started to lighten up a little bit, and he said, man, you special. You are special. He said, now, Martin, Malcolm, I know Mandela. You're not them, but you're special. I thought that was cool, man. That was cool right there, man. That's, if you're Sam, it's like, man, I'm getting props from Isaiah Bradley, the first black Captain America, right? That's awesome, man. That's awesome, man. I'm glad that happened right there for Sam. So, and I like it how Sam said, hey, I don't take no super soldier serum, but he said, hey, man, I'm probably going to die doing this, but I'm going to, I have a right to fight for my country, and I'm going to do it. And hey, man, that's when you go back to Endgame, we hear Captain America, we hear Steve tell Sam, you're a good man. And that's the same thing that the doctor had, the scientist who created the super soldier serum, he saw in Steve. He saw genuinely a good man. And that's the thing, people, man. Like, this man here, he could take the super soldier serum if he want to, but he does not want to take it. But yet he continues to go out there and make that sacrifice, man. So that's awesome. I could dig that. I really love that part, man. I really love that part. Oh, and also the whole scene where he took Isaiah Bradley to that museum, and they had a statue of him, and they what do you call it, where you're reading they had a summarization of what happened to him and the other soldiers who were tested for the super soldier serum against their will. And that moment right there, man, when Isaiah, where he hugs Sam, man, listen, I did not cry, but I was very emotional on it. I did not cry, but I was very emotional on it. Okay, so I'm pretty good at I'm pretty good at not allowing myself to cry at times, but guess what? I really felt that moment. I really did. That was pretty awesome to see. So I'm not going to say it brings closure on Isaiah Bradley's character, but it does bring some good positivity for his character right there. It's like, man, he got to see that before he died, so that's awesome. That's awesome. And his grandson got to witness it too. So that's incredible too. And for those of you who are unfamiliar, his grandson becomes, he ends up becoming part of the new Avengers. I forgot the name, but if you know the name, drop it in the comment section below. I seen it before, but I can't remember it right now. I'm having total recall right now, okay? But man, another good thing on this episode is that let's see. Oh, we see Sam and Bucky. They reunite back at Sam's Boat. That's a restaurant, Sam's Boat. I don't know if they still in existence, but they have some pretty good seafood. But anyways, they're having a party and stuff, and man, it was just good vibing times. It reminded me of like when you watch the Fast and the Fury movies, and then after the action and all that stuff at the end, they all meet back at Dom's house, and they have their formal nemesis with them. They eat, and guess what? They toast it up and say, "We're family. It's all about family." And I had that feeling. I felt those kind of vibes watching that, I mean, I like Sam and Bucky, man. I like that dynamic duo that they have, man. It reminds me of if you watch the movie White Man Can't Jump, how you have Woody Harrelson and Wesley Snipes. It has that type of chemistry. Or Murtaugh and Riggs in the Lethal Weapon movies. I love that. It's a good vibe. They have two totally different personalities. One's an introvert, one's an extrovert, and stuff like that. But guess what? They're made for each other as friends, and they better watch out because they might end up being brothers-in-law. Because once again, you see Sarah and Bucky just locking eyes and stuff. So the kids seem to like him too, as they was doing pull-ups on his arm and stuff. So, speaking of that arm, we finally got to see Bucky really do some stuff with the arm. Because like he said in the previous episode, he says because he's right-handed and that arm is on his left, a lot of times he's not even thinking about it. But the whole scene where he pulled those hostages out, yeah, I like that. Speaking of that, yeah, shout out to John Walker. Also, I didn't talk enough about him yet, but I've been hating on John Walker. And the stem of my hate from John Walker, like I said, is because he took on the Captain America mantle. Now, I got no beef with him. If you want to become a villain, fine. If you want to become good, be a reformed superhero, I got no problem with that. But I no longer hate John Walker anymore. Brilliant job, Mr. Wyatt Russell. Okay? Brilliant job. I never thought that I would hate the character that the great Kurt Russell's son played. All right, but he did an awesome job. So I look forward to seeing what he does as U.S. agent, as he was with Val, aka Julia Louis Dreyfus. Did I get it right this time? Oh man, I keep messing it up. But anyways, I wonder what's gonna happen with that. We found out it seems like she's connected with Zemo. She said our good friend Zemo. So I don't know what's going on. I heard rumors about Dark Avengers. I heard rumors about Thunderbolts. I have no idea, people. I have no idea. And most people who shell out their theories, all it is just theories, people. Theories, a lot of times, theories can get proven wrong by other theories, okay? But what I'm not going to do is, when I make theories, is that, and my theories don't come true, I'm not going to, hate on the show. Because guess what, man? The Marvel shows and the movies, guess what? They're not murder mysteries. They're not whodunits and stuff. It's just that, hey, man, we should be glad that Kevin Feige and everybody else over there on their staff, they do a real good job at keeping that stuff tight-lipped. You follow what I'm saying? So I can dig that, man. I hope you can dig it too. All right. Now, we do find out in this episode that Sharon Carter is the power broker. Okay. In the scene where it was just her and Carly, they were talking, and Carly referenced her as the power broker. And Carly said, "You just want me as your muscle. You just want super soldiers as your muscle." And Sharon kind of pretty much told her off like, "Well, I can replace you. You are replaceable. I'm just trying to give you the opportunity to get on this side of the team." But anyways, man, I mean, she's the power broker. All right. I'm not sure if the power broker is in the comics. I'm going to have to do my research. But if you are aware, if you know whether or not if the power broker is in the comics and you know a lot about the power broker, please feel free to drop some information in the comments below. Because guess what? I'm not immune to learning new stuff. I am not going to pretend like I know it all, because I do not know it all. I don't know all of anything. All right. So I got no problem for learning. Right. But, man, the whole scene at the end, she gets her full pardon, which she rightfully deserves, and I got no problem with that. But man, after that, she had this look on her face where it's just like seriously, if I was the person doing the full pardon, the whole expression on her face, I would have said, you know what, we're gonna what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a normal background check and all this stuff, whatever. It's just normal, typical protocol before we fully grant your pardon, okay? Because that look she gave, I don't like that look, and that but I don't know. I mean, maybe the person who gave her the full pardon might be in on it with her. You know what I'm saying? Because when she left out that building, she immediately called somebody and said, "Hey, forget about the super soldiers. We're gonna have access to all these type of secret files and politicians and officials and agents and weapons and stuff like that." So I heard rumors that, you know, it's possible her character may be somehow connected to the Iron Wars, the Secret Invasion and the Iron Wars series that's coming out. I gotta check the date on those. I can't remember which one's coming out first or whatever, but we'll see. We know Don Cheadle is starring in the Iron Wars, and we do know Samuel Jackson is gonna be in Secret Invasion. Okay, and so I don't know. We'll see. But man, Sharon Carter, I'm gonna do a whole segment, maybe tomorrow, on what I think, on my full in-depth opinion about Miss Sharon Carter becoming, you know, that villain, you know, or if she's a Skrull or whatever the heck she is. All right, but that's pretty much it, man. I enjoyed this episode. Overall, scale to 1 to 10, I give season 1. I said an 8. I can't give it a 9. All right, like, I'm comparing it to other television shows that I really, really like, especially in season 1. Like, I think about 24 with Jack Bauer in season 1, you know. I mean, because that's, for me, that's what I kind of compare it to. Because, see, a lot of people, they look at this show and they say, oh, it's too woke, it's too many political stuff and all that. Well, I mean, if you watch any of the Captain America movies, they had some type of political theme to them. Even the Iron Man movies. I mean, weapons. You know, who should control all these weapons? Or, hey, in the political realm, they talk about guns and all these weapons and stuff, right? So, talking about having control over that. So, I think a lot of stuff that we do watch, it's been politicized in a way, but I guess we don't realize it or whatever. But some people like to complain about it, especially if it's something that they don't care about. Well, that's not a good way to go about it, even though I'm not going to tell you how to think. But the thing about it is this, man, you know, it's a lot of stuff, especially in Sam's message. It's certain things on there that, it's not that I disagree with it, but it's like, maybe that part of the message wasn't for me. You know, because he wasn't just talking about one set of people. He was trying to deliver a message that's for all people. Okay? That's being inclusive. That's including everyone. That's that's diversifying your speech. Okay? So that way it's like, hey, if I got something for you and stuff, and it's right here, this is how we could bring everybody together. Because you remember, well, I don't know about you, but I remember being in elementary school. They used to say, "Hey, one of the beautiful things about our country is that, you know, it's a big melting pot. So you got people from different races, backgrounds, ethnicities, different cultures and religions, all living here in the United States of America, united." You know what I'm saying? So that way, guess what? Instead of being against a lot of stuff, you know, it's the opportunity to learn from one another. Now, just because you learn something from someone, that doesn't mean you have to apply it. That's no different than being in school, right? A lot of times, how many times you've been in school and you learned, let's say you learned, algebra. You learn algebra, geometry, all that stuff, or whatever it was. You learned it, but guess what? Did you go apply it? No. A lot of times you don't. But guess what? It's not going to hurt to learn it. You follow what I'm saying, or understand. The purpose for learning is to understand other people's perspectives, even if you disagree with it or agree with it. So that way it's like, okay, well, if he or she say or do this, they're not coming from a devilish place in their heart, mind, or spirit. You know, that's because you know they're coming from a place where this is how they was brought up, and they do this because of A, B, C, and D, or whatever. You know, now, as long as it's not something that's being downright disrespectful, and that's something that we all should be able to filter out, it should be okay. Because the mark of an educated man or woman, or intellectual man or woman, is to be able to hear and listen and receive information, even though you disagree with it, but you don't allow it to affect you in a negative way or something. I know I'm messing up that quote because it's a shorter way to say it where it's just one sentence, but I can't remember the exact thing. If you remember that quote that's similar to that, please drop it in the comment section below because I'm having a brain for it right now, or brain freeze, or whatever it is you want to call it. But I really enjoyed this show. I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. That is good. That is good. Okay. I heard rumors that they were going to include the like some type of subplot with a virus where the Flag Smashers caused the virus, where they wanted to, the purpose for that, they want to reduce the world back to 50%, just like when Thanos did the snap, the blip. But I don't know. But of course, they didn't include that because of the whole COVID-19, the whole pandemic. And I'm not going to lie, as much as I'm the kind of person, I can watch it on a show or a movie and take it for what it is, a movie. Okay, because there have been plenty of movies where it's been about a virus. You got the whole Resident Evil franchise, Outbreak, and there's other movies. And the band played on, a whole bunch of other movies and stuff that's similar to that. But I understand, it's a situation where it is very, very sensitive to talk about that. And it's nothing wrong with that because a lot of people have been affected. I think we all have been affected by, this whole pandemic, So I understand that. And that's being respectful. I'm a firm believer in be respectful before being profitable. Okay? Like, that's, you know what I'm saying? You can make all the money in the world, but you don't want to you don't want to have to disrespect people in order to make money, or to be famous or get more likes or views or whatever the hell it is. We're all human beings to our core. Because if the world ended or if all this currency and money didn't matter and stuff and we're all starting at the same spot, guess what? Respect goes a long way. All right. But I'm going to close it and shut it down. I've been rambling and talking long enough, but I enjoyed this episode. If you enjoyed it, hey, or if you didn't like it, hey, comment below. You know what I'm saying? Let me know your thoughts on it. And scale to 1 to 10, what would you give season 1 of of Captain America and the Winter Soldier? All right. Yeah, I like that. You like how that sound? And hey, and also, hey, tell me what how successful are you think Sam is gonna be as Captain America? All right. Especially not taking the super soldier serum. Is he going to be leading the Avengers now? I don't know. We'll see. But thank you all for listening. And if you liked what you listened to, please hit that subscribe button. Okay. And drop a comment below. Student of the Game podcast. Oh, and also, hey, you can check out the audio version of my podcast. You can go to Anchor, you can go to Spotify, you can go to Apple iTunes, or you can go to Google Play, wherever you listen to your local podcast, and type in the Student of the Game. All right, and I'm the host, Tavares, and hey, thank y'all for listening. Student of the Game podcast. Peace out.